Welcome to hell. That's the only thing I can say about the story I'm about to tell you. A man locked away for 15 years without reason, only to face a truth far more horrifying than his prison. This is Oldboy. At the beginning of this story, we see Dae-su because of drinking. The police had arrested and locked him up at the station. They were about to file a case against him. Dae-su kept insisting, "Why only me? There were so many others drinking too, why didn't you arrest them?" He started acting out, but the police ignored him. Soon, Dae-su's friend arrives, bails him out, and takes him home. Dae-su then calls his 6-year-old daughter to wish her a happy birthday. He says he's bringing her angel wings as a gift, something that would make her very happy. He promises he'll be home soon. As he hands the phone to his friend to let him wish her too, Dae-su suddenly vanishes. A stranger has kidnapped him. Now we see Dae-su in a sort of private prison. He asks the man bringing him food, "What crime have I committed? Why have I been brought here? It's already been 30 days, when will I get out? Please answer me." But the man remains silent. Over the next few years, Dae-su's hair and nails grow long. He scratches the wall painting until it's ruined. Every 2 to 3 months, gas is released into his room, knocking him unconscious. While he's out, people come in, clean the room, cut his nails and hair, and leave. One day, along with his bottle, they also take blood samples. After some time while watching TV, Dae-su learns that his wife has been murdered. A liquor bottle and blood evidence were found at the crime scene, his DNA. This was all a setup to frame him. Now the outside world sees him as a criminal. Meanwhile, he's still locked in this strange prison. The room gives him food on time, a TV for entertainment, and a clean washroom. But how long can a man remain caged? He tries to slit his wrists several times, but each time, people watching him via camera intervene and save him. Then one day, he finds 3 metal chopsticks in his food instead of 2. That gives him the idea. He can dig through the bricks and escape. He even starts tattooing each passing year on his hand. Time passes, 6 years, then 8, then 13, and now almost 15 years. Only 1 month remains until he could break free. That night, Dae-su is overjoyed and vows to take revenge on whoever imprisoned him. But suddenly, gas fills the room again and knocks him out. The next morning, he wakes up and opens his eyes. He is in a grassy field, emerging from a suitcase. It turns out he was on the roof of a building. Because he hadn't seen sunlight in 15 years, the brightness blinds him. Then he sees a man. Dae-su grabs his collar and demands answers. "Who are you? How did I get here? Are you the one who imprisoned me for 15 years? But the man replies, "Like you, I was also imprisoned here for 5 years. They begin to share their stories. Dae-su explains how he was kidnapped on his daughter's birthday and held captive in a building. But before the other man can share his side, Dae-su walks away. The man pleads, "At least hear my story. I'm going to die." But Dae-su ignores him. The man then jumps to his death. During those 15 years, Dae-su had learned everything through TV, about volcanoes, insects, fighting, cooking, etc. Now, on the street, he takes a cigarette from some thugs and uses fighting techniques he learned from TV to beat them up. Exhausted, he reaches a restaurant but has no money. Just then, a beggar gives him a wallet and a phone, saying someone asked him to deliver it to Dae-su. At the restaurant, he asks for the freshest living dish. The chef, Mi-do, serves him a live octopus, which he devours raw with his hands. He gets a phone call, and the caller says, whether it's a grain of sand or a big rock, everyone sinks eventually. Before Dae-su can ask who he is or why he gave him the items, the call cuts off. The food he ate clogs his windpipe and he passes out. Mi-do assumes he's homeless, takes him home, changes his clothes, and discovers a notebook full of names. People Dae-su suspects may have been behind his imprisonment. When he regains consciousness, Mi-do asks about his family. Dae-su says his wife was murdered 14 years ago and he was falsely accused. He had a 6-year-old daughter whom he's now searching for. They try to locate her, but neighbors say she was taken to Scotland, and no one knows more than that. Dae-su is devastated, but determined to find the person responsible. While eating with Mi-do, he remembers the food he was fed for 15 years. If he can trace the restaurant that made it or the delivery guy who brought it, he could find the prison. They start eating at various restaurants across Korea. One day, Dae-su tastes the same dish. It's from Blue Dragon restaurant. He follows the delivery man to the building where he was once held. There, he meets Mr. Seo, the man in charge. Enraged, Dae-su ties him up and pulls out his teeth one by one, demanding to know why he was locked up. Seo says they're a private company. Someone hired them to keep Dae-su imprisoned and they simply followed orders. He never met the person, all communication was over the phone, but he does have cassette recordings if Dae-su wants to listen. Just as Dae-su is about to hear them, Seo's goons arrive. He beats up all the goons fiercely. In his hand, he only had an axe, while all the others had thick sticks, swords, knives, and even guns. But Dae-su wasn't the kind of man who gets scared. The fight lasts a long time, and he loses a lot of blood. When he comes out of the building, a man helps him into a car to take him to a hospital. Before leaving, that man says, whether it's a grain of dust or a big rock, everyone eventually sinks. Hearing this, Dae-su puts his hand on his head, wishing he had recognized that man a second earlier. He realizes that he could have caught the one who had imprisoned him. Anyway, for now, Mi-do helps treat his wounds and supports him through everything. After recovering a little, Dae-su visits his old friend, whom he had met 15 years ago at a telephone booth. That friend now runs a small cyber cafe, where people use computers by the hour to access the internet. This friend, having good knowledge of the internet, searches through company contracts in Seoul and finds a link to the person who imprisoned Dae-su, that is, Woo Jin. They also find his address. When Dae-su rushes to the address, he discovers it's the building right in front of Mi-do's house. He now wants to kill Woo Jin, but Woo Jin explains that he has a pacemaker helping his heartbeat. He says if Dae-su tries to kill him painfully, he'll just press the button in his hand and die instantly. But he adds that death isn't that satisfying, because if he dies suddenly, Dae-su won't get the answers he wants, why he was imprisoned. Woo Jin gives him until July 5th to figure it out. It's currently June 30th, just 5 days left. Dae-su still hasn't connected all the dots about why Woo Jin did this to him. Meanwhile, Mr. Lee, the one handling the facility where Dae-su was held, goes to Mi-do's apartment, seeking revenge because Dae-su had broken his teeth. He tries to assault Mi-do. When Dae-su sees this, he gets enraged and threatens to cut off Mr. Lee's hand. From a distance, Woo Jin is watching all this. He calls Mr. Lee and says, "I'll pay you whatever you want. Just don't harm the girl or Dae-su." Seeing the amount of money, Mr. Lee leaves. Now Dae-su and Mi-do, realizing they're in danger, leave their old place and head somewhere else. They spend the night together and get intimate. But suddenly, gas is released into the room, and they both fall unconscious. When they wake up, they find a small blue box in front of them. Inside the box is Mr. Lee's severed hand, a clear message that they're being tracked. Dae-su goes to a shop and removes a transmitter hidden in his shoe so no one can track them anymore. Then starts connecting the dots, searching through old newspapers, websites, and magazines to find out why someone wanted revenge on him. During this search, he finds an old childhood photo, but one girl's face is scratched out. To know more about her, he visits a friend of hers, a woman who now runs a beauty parlor. She tells him that the girl in question was Lee Suna, a very beautiful classmate. She reminds Dae-su that he once spread a rumor about Lee Suna being in an inappropriate relationship with her brother and being pregnant with his child. Apparently, that girl eventually committed suicide. These revelations trigger Dae-su's flashbacks to 25 years ago, how he was a rebellious student, smoked cigarettes, and caused trouble. Lee Suna, impressed by his swag, started liking him. One day, when the classroom was empty, Lee Suna and her cousin brother Woo Jin were alone in the chemistry lab. Woo Jin tried to kiss her, but from a distance, Dae-su witnessed this. He told his best friend, but the rumor spread that Lee Suna and Woo Jin, who were siblings, were in an incestuous relationship. People started saying Woo Jin got his own sister pregnant. Lee Suna became extremely scared and paranoid. Her stomach even began swelling out of anxiety. She believed she was pregnant and feared she would lose her dignity in society. Eventually, she committed suicide. Now Dae-su realizes the whole truth. Woo Jin was the man who imprisoned him for 15 years, as revenge for the rumor Dae-su spread in school that led to his sister's death. Dae-su begs for forgiveness, but Woo Jin isn't interested. Instead, he reveals the horrifying twist. He kept Dae-su locked up for exactly 15 years for 3 reasons. Reason 1. A murderer usually gets 14 years in prison, so 1 year after imprisoning Dae-su, they murdered his wife, so the police would stop looking for him. Reason 2. A person forgets someone they haven't seen in over a decade. Reason 3. Woo Jin wanted Dae-su to feel the same pain he had felt. So, the girl Dae-su fell in love with, Mi-do, was actually his own daughter. She had been told her father lived in Scotland. She worked as a chef in the restaurant. And now, Dae-su realizes he unknowingly had sex with his own daughter. Devastated, he tries to use Woo Jin's remote to stop his heart, but it turns out to be just a recorder. It plays the audio of his intimate moments with Mi-do. Dae-su breaks down and begs Woo Jin not to let Mi-do know the truth. He falls to his knees, but Woo Jin only laughs. Dae-su, recalling how his tongue had caused all this, cuts it off with scissors in a horrifying and disturbing scene. Even then, he pleads Woo Jin not to reveal the truth to Mi-do. Now satisfied with his revenge, Woo Jin calls Mr. Lee and tells him not to open the blue box sent to Mi-do. That box contains the tape that proves Mi-do is Dae-su's daughter. At the end of the movie, Woo Jin shoots himself in the elevator because he had said that once Dae-su uncovers everything, he'll kill himself. Lee Soo-na and Woo Jin have no family left. When Lee Soo-na died, she told Woo Jin to live a good life and never repeat her mistakes. Woo Jin kept her last photo, and that's why his room was full of her pictures. Dae-su meets a hypnotist and begs her to erase his memory forever. She tells him it might not work exactly as he wants. Years pass. When Mi-do comes to meet him again, Dae-su is now 70 years old. For a moment, he feels relieved, thinking everything is finally over. But then, he starts crying, because deep down he still remembers everything. In the end, Dae-su was free from his prison, but never from his past. The true punishment wasn't 15 years behind walls, it was living with the truth afterward. Oldboy isn't just a movie, it's a brutal reminder that some wounds never heal, and some truths are better left buried. If this story left you shocked, disturbed, or speechless, you're not alone. Don't forget to like, comment your thoughts on that twist, and subscribe for more intense movie breakdowns every week.